Hello everyone, my name is Mallika and I'm one of the trainers here in this Walk Training Center. Today I'm going to tell you about Read Aloud, which is the first task in your PTE, Pearson Test of English. So what skills are assessed in Read Aloud? Reading and speaking. So the instructions for the Read Aloud say, you must read this text aloud as naturally and clearly as possible. Reading text naturally and clearly. Now what do you mean by clearly? So every one of us know. So clearly means your oral fluency and your pronunciation. So that gives you marks for your speaking. So what is reading naturally? So reading naturally means you have to read with meaningful chunks. So you have to group the words in meaningful chunks. So that is when you will sound naturally and you will get marks for your reading skills. Now, there is another thing which you have to keep in mind, how your content is also another important thing for your read aloud. So how your content is getting assessed. So each replacement omission, remember everyone, each replacement omission and insertion of any word counts as one error. Sometimes we don't do it wantedly. When we are reading, we might just overlook it, or we might be in a rush, or we might just simply ignore it, and then we might replace a word, or we might insert a word which is not there. So all this counts as an error or even omission. You might just simply forget to read that word. Even it can be as simple as, if there is a plural word and if you are saying as a singular word, that still counts as a replacement. Because for example, if there is a word called color and you are saying it as colors, that is still counted as a replacement because you did not read the correct word. And another thing which you have to keep in mind is, your maximum score depends on the length of the task prompt. What does that mean? You should not speak too fast. You should not speak too slow. So the length of the task prompt does have an effect on your score. Strategies we need to follow to ace this read aloud task. Use raising intonation to show a contrast and falling intonation to show that you have finished a point. So when you are starting a sentence, you need to speak with the raising intonation to show the system that you have started a sentence. In the similar way, if there is a comma, just give a little pause. Do not stop completely. Make sure you just pause only for a little while and then start speaking. In the similar way, how are you going to make the system understand that you are stopping a sentence? So you should use the following intonation that you are ending a sentence or you are ending a point. And you have plenty of time to do, so do not ever rush. Speak in a normal volume. You don't have to shout. How should we prepare for read aloud? So when it comes to the preparation part, practice reading sentences out loud, grouping the words into meaningful chunks. Practice putting short pauses at commas, as I've told you earlier, and between meaningful groups, and longer pauses at full stops. Remember again, longer pauses at full stops. So you have to just pause at a comma and a little longer pause when you see a full stop. When you learn a new word, use a dictionary that has that words and try to find the meaning. When you know the meaning of what you are reading, it sounds more naturally. So there is a saying, it's not a saying, it's a truth actually. If you're not reading with the meaning, or if you're not understanding what you're reading, then you're not reading at all. So Make a habit, so whatever you're reading, read for the meaning. Try to understand what you're reading. Automatically, you will get that natural reading skills. Practice the points that I have discussed today. In my following videos, we will discuss more about the remaining tasks in PTE.